Hello, everyone, and welcome back. Right now, we have Brian Chung and GJ Lee with the Sheep's Meow showing us exposure. What made you guys decide first to come to GaymerX East this weekend?
Well, we have a lot of friends who are part of this community, and we've heard great things about it. We were sorry to have missed it last year. This is our first time attending. Yeah. And we just wanted to see how it is. We really like inclusive communities. We're community event organizers ourselves. So
great. Yeah. Fantastic. What made you decide to make and showcase this game and get it to this point of being able to do demos and everything?
We've been working on this project on and off for a few years now. It was always like a side project that we had to do, but we were lucky enough to get some time over the summer through the Game Center Incubator to work on it full time, to get it to a place where I guess we feel more confident, I guess, and more ready to bring it out for release.
This game is a little different from the other games that we've made.
Yeah.
This is very much sort of a passion project, very different from all the other games that we've created. So I think that'll show both in what kind of game it is, but also in the way we work on it and our process. And it's been sort of a long journey. Yeah.
Okay. Should we start showing it now?
Sure.
Yeah.
All right. We good? All right. So, obviously, the main screen, and we see Start and Daily Challenge. What are the differences between those already?
Okay, so Start is just playing the game as normal, as you might expect. A Daily Challenge is a special feature where you only get one chance per 24-hour period. So this is the kind of thing where you would play once a day, try to beat your score, and all the pressure's on if you're playing on this mode because you only get one shot.
Right. Okay.
Whereas in the normal, it's normal. You start over whenever you want. You die, it's no big problem. You start again.
Okay. So Start is kind of like a practice mode for the end game of daily challenges?
Yeah, sure. When you're
you
really
could look
good,
at it like that?
and it would have its own separate leaderboard and all of that stuff and its achievements.
Great. Fantastic. All right.
So we'll just start into the normal game.
Mm-hmm.
So Exposure, a game of camouflage, is about where you control a bug that's very small and defenseless in a tiny world, and there are all these predators trying to chase you down.
Okay.
So there's going to be one appearing from the left here. So that red thing is trying to chase you down. So all we can do here is camouflage.
Right.
And since I'm light colored, I can hide in this light colored shape. And since I can't see myself, the enemy can't see me either.
Wow.
I can switch colors at any time. So I can go hide in this dark area now.
And once you get used to hiding, you can start collecting the eggs that are floating past you.
Uh-huh.
Those eggs will hatch a little baby that follows you around. And this little baby essentially protects you, but your job is also to protect it too.
Right.
Oh no.
So if you collect about 12 of those eggs, then you'll make it to the next level, or the boss will come out depending on which level you're on.
And as you keep collecting, the world starts getting more complex and responds to how well you were doing in the game.
Okay.
Right.
So how did this game come about? It just seems very unique in the sense of you have to be able to be comfortable with not being able to see your character because it's hiding in the same color as it is.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that core mechanic, it's pretty uncomfortable at first.
Right,
because people are used to being able to see yourself as sort of a reference point. So that was really the core premise that we built the entire rest of the game around, is that idea of not being able to see yourself and having to get used to knowing and feeling where you are going.
Yeah.
Right.
The levels in this game are actually seamless. So Brian just beat the boss that brought up a flower. That's the checkpoint in the game.
Okay.
And right now he's in a level called Nature. The levels are branching in Exposure. So depending on how you played in Origins, which was the previous level, you'd either end up in Nature or Nurture.
Okay.
And so Brian collected more of the light-colored eggs. So he's in the Nature path now.
Wow. That's super exciting. It gives you a bunch of different ways to be able to see other levels and replay.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, one of our design goals was to make this game as replayable as possible.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah.
So is it possible within this game to just pause it right now and then come back to it? You would come back to the boss that you just defeated. That's your checkpoint?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Right.
So there's just so much going on the screen right now. And So I see that synthesis is coming up now. So we've left nature and now we're in synthesis. How did that occur?
Ooh, actually, if you show the map again.
Sure.
And so this is the path that Brian's taking right now. From Origins,
Right.
he collected more light
Right.
eggs, and now from nature, he collected more dark eggs, which brought him into synthesis.
Okay.
So potentially we could have gone to an alternate third level or an alternate second level. So
Right.
each time you play, it'll be a little bit different.
Yeah, and I can see with the map, there's a slight angle up or down, and so I guess that represents the different paths that are potentially taken.
Yes.
Right.
Okay.
Basically, whether you've been doing more light or more dark, this whole game is sort of based on that theme of the two sides.
Okay. Is there any benefit to, other than like your path changes, is there any benefit to just purely collecting the light or the dark or trying to keep a balance?
Well, it'll determine which levels you go to next. So if you get familiar with it and you have a preference about which levels are easier or harder for you, or you just want to see a different thing from last time,
Right.
then you would pick based on that. There is sort of another, I guess, a sort of spoiler-ish detail about why you might want to pick one of those details. But in short, each level that you pass through and each path that you take, there's one collectible secret golden item that you can get.
Okay.
So there's a different one based on each level. And when you get to the end of this map, which is actually the halfway point of the game,
Okay.
that is the point where these little golden things, you could see one or two of them following me actually.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Those things will combine into your main form and give you a few special abilities for the second half of the game.
Oh, okay. Great. And that's just something you have to discover by exploring and
Yes.
keep doing the game over and over. Okay.
Right. We have all these branching levels, but in the end, they all kind of come to the same place at the halfway point,
Okay.
where at each level you evolve a little bit, and then at that halfway point, you evolve into an entirely different species. So then the gameplay
Oh.
mechanics change quite a bit.
Okay.
So that's a big sort of plot twist. I don't know if we should spoil it on the podcast.
Yeah, no, that's totally fine. Totally keep your secrets. I think it's enticing enough to be able to see how we do the first half here. So this is a boss right now,
Yes.
Yes.
and how exactly are you defeating it? I see that you're going in and out of camouflage.
So
sorry.
yeah, go ahead.
Oh, so this boss is more of a waited out kind of boss.
Okay.
After you collect more of those eggs, the boss will kind of go away, and you'll be in a different area of the game.
Okay.
This one is a little bit about testing your patience.
Oh, great.
So-
Yeah, I think people need a lot more practice with that, so I like that idea a lot.
So this boss, you'll notice when I'm hidden, it will extend these laser arms out at me. And
okay.
when I'm not hidden, it sort of goes away.
Went away. Bye-bye.
So
Yay,
now
we did
made
it.
into another level here.
Ah, go away, Predator, no.
And here the
I'm gonna
environment.
die.
Oh,
No!
It's okay. I did that on purpose, actually, because that's what I
no. You wanted to show us something.
Yeah,
Yes,
I wanted
of
to show you
course.
something. Oh, that was a checkpoint. But I'll actually quit out the entire game here and start over again.
Let's show the different paths.
Yeah. So I'll just try to speed run this a little bit,
Okay.
going a different way, so you see a different level too.
Okay.
So this game has a bit of procedural generation. So the levels themselves, even if you take the same path, they're going to be a little bit different.
Yeah, just by the virtue of how the art floats into the frame.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So collecting a couple more. You'll notice that Brian is collecting a little bit more of the darker eggs,
Okay.
so we can get to nurture.
Okay.
And I definitely did it way faster this time around than the first time. So it might look like there's a lot of randomness, but it's actually we're designing it to be very speedrun friendly.
Yeah,
And it
I can
definitely tracks your time and all the other stats of how you're playing.
right, like how long you've been alive. Right.
Oh, I did that so fast.
That's fantastic.
So this is a second level too. The other level we were on was called nature. This is called nurture, and the other level had more sort of natural, sort of organic kind of shapes and a theme to them. This is more as you go down this path, you'll see more rectilinear lines and triangles and those kind of shapes
And
as
the
opposed to circles.
The movements of the shapes that you need to hide in themselves, they're all very linear.
Right, yeah. Gosh, this is so awesome. I like this idea a lot. All right. So this is the game that you're working on right now. How does it differ from other games that you've maybe worked on or shelved, or other games that you've considered finished? And do you think that you're going to continue in this type of style, or is this more of a, hey, we had a really interesting idea and let's explore it, and then let's go back to what we're more interested in, which is what you used to create before this?
The process behind this game was very different. We both, I guess, did everything. We shared responsibilities of everything together, from designing to programming to art. That way, I don't know, we never felt like one of us had more creative ownership. We both had, equal ownership over this game.
This has come up in a lot of times working sort of at larger game studios. You'll see some team members sort of hijack the process. And, so we very much were against doing that. So we do everything together, all the programming, all the art, we share it all. So that part we'll definitely keep.
Cool.
As for the types of games we make as a studio, I think it's important to kind of keep a range of, so we make small mobile games that are very fast to play, very unlike this, which is for Steam and Xbox One, and it serves sort of a different market. So I think as a studio it's important to do more than one type of game.
All right. Great. Thank you so much for showcasing your
No,
game
thanks
and
for having us.
explaining your process and all of that. And I hope you have a wonderful rest of your weekend.
Oh,
Cool.
thank you.
Thank
You
you.
too.
And thank you all for tuning in.
Thank you, everyone.